All
right, we're live. Guys, today we're going to discuss the Michigan State team a little bit and what we're getting into, and we'll go over our game predictions. I got 9 great games picked out for us. Again, I couldn't limit it. I wanted to get more. I think I missed a couple of good ones too, but that's okay. You know,
I
so
can't do that, Jared. You won't see me doing that. They're all the same to me.
the Republican candidates.
Yeah. I mean, like all of them, even doesn't matter what they are. They say the same stuff every single primary or every debate.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, they just say the same crap. So it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, I don't even know who's even on the Republican debate, guys.
I might
I
just I might watch just to see if Vivek Ramaswamy does some Eminem tonight.
Now who's that?
You don't know Vivek? Vivek. It's
Vivek?
cake. It's Vivek. Yeah, it's
Vivek?
cake.
Yeah.
That's how
I
he
don't know.
said. That's how he said to say his name. Is it's cake.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
Vivek.
Well, here's what I'm at on the thing. I'm a DeSanto person until he's done, and then I will only vote for Trump if
You
he's
have to.
against if he's against Biden, then that's when Trump gets my vote.
Chris Christie's only there because there's a free dinner buffet before the debate. So,
Well, he was losing weight there for a while. Did he quit?
I don't know.
I don't know when he was losing
But
weight.
I can tell you this much: they don't let him go first through the line.
You get last because you get to pick. You get the leftovers. No, okay, all right. Since we're not a political show,
Yeah, we need to move on before
we need to move on before we piss
Paul
people
gets us in
off
trouble.
today.
Nobody's voting for Chris Christie anyway. We can make fun of him.
No,
Okay.
I know.
So I did a little research on. Oh, by the way, we should probably acknowledge that Mel Tucker is officially fired as of today.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay. I mean, even though everybody knew it was coming and they sent him a letter that it was coming, today it became official. So,
No.
all right. So one of the things I found out is Michigan State averages 23 points a game. We average 21.25, which I expect to go back up again. I mean, only thing that hurt us was that goose egg we got the other day.
Yeah, that really hurt. There's a tweet from Hawkeye and Enemy Territory. He asked a poll. He took a poll on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Says, does Iowa exceed 25 points per game in any game the rest of the season? And which is impressive. 46% said yes. I would think the way Iowa fans have been acting, like the sky's falling.
Yeah,
But
I think they will.
no, 54%. So
yeah. Although we all know, and I mean us three know because we understand what Beth Getz was getting at in that thing that you had to post to let people know again today. That it's really the wins that matters, and she's convinced of that after talking to both Brian and Kirk that she's more concerned about the wins and not how they get there, the numbers. And Kirk said in his thing he doesn't care about the numbers, he doesn't care about the stats. All he cares about is the W.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about. We're coming off a bye week. We got Michigan State at home. It's blackout. Which
is it blackout or gold out?
It's a blackout, which is exactly. So this is two Saturday nights in a row blackout for me. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I've been saying that the whole time. Yeah, we didn't play a game last week. We're ready to go from here on out.
That's
there we go. All right. Okay, so they've only scored 92 total points this year. We've scored a total of 85 points. So we're kind of in the same boat offensively. Basically, they just got one more touchdown this year than we did. I mean, well, I guess not really, two more. They got 12 touchdowns on the year. We have 10. We must have had a safety in there somewhere to make it be a discrepancy. Anyhow, they have rushed for 444 yards, but their passing is impressive, 1,064. So their quarterbacks are juicing it up on the ball. We've rushed for 474 yards, which I actually did not realize that we outrushed somebody in the conference. Considering how bad our running game has been lately. Passing only 508 yards total, but we are getting 5.5 yards of play off of our passing game.
Stats are just so meaningless. I mean, it depending on who you've played, and I mean, what kind? If you're behind big, you're throwing the football more. If you're protecting a lead, maybe you're running the football more. I'm just, I don't know that we can, and I know that I think Michigan State's played Washington. It's probably the best team they've played. I don't even know who the other
and Washington torched them.
Yeah.
So it says here, I believe Parker said he did have a Zoom meeting today, and I didn't hear anything about it. That he wants his defense off the field quickly due to Michigan State's quick offense. Does that have a tendency, if Michigan State has a quick offense, does that have a tendency to help our defense shut them down more quicker?
No, that's what Penn State did. Michigan State runs something similar to Penn State.
Okay.
They're going to just hurry up. They're not going to let you sub. Sometimes they get to a line of scrimmage and then they don't even run a play, right? Just to see if you sub. But you still can't sub because the moment you sub, they can say hike and run the play when you got nobody on the field.
I don't think we can sub until they do. Like
right.
if
they're
on offense.
No, you can sub. The defense can sub at any time.
Oh, okay.
The difference is if the offense subs, they have to give time to the defense.
Okay, that's what it is. All right.
Yeah, that's what it is because the offense can dictate all kinds. If the offense could just sub and not let the defense, I mean, that's a big advantage for the offense. Right?
So our defense is not going to be able to rush the quarterback because he's going to get the ball out quicker, just like it seems half of the quarterbacks we've faced already done this year.
Yep.
Get it out really quick.
Yep.
Why us? Why us, man? Can't we just catch a break? Michigan State, can't you be the old bruiser up and down like old-fashioned offense like Iowa?
I don't know if Michigan State's gone on the road and played in a hostile environment yet. I'm
both their losses are at home, right?
Yeah, against Washington, and I don't know who else beat them, but
Maryland.
Oh,
Maryland beat them by quite a bit. It's just that Maryland has an offense. This is what I'm concerned about: is if we can't get that offense going, is our defense elite enough to stop Michigan State? Are they elite enough? That's what I want to know.
I don't think Michigan State's defense is all it's they're not all that great. So
they're definitely not Penn State defense. Nobody in the Big Ten is Penn State.
No, but we're not going to face another one.
No.
There's zero. The only thing that scares me would be Illinois because of their defensive end and tackles. Mm-hmm. So if we don't help out, like chip the defensive ends or have the running back or the fullback in there to block to help, Logan Jones in the interior, they have the best defensive lineman in the country.
Right.
They don't have a very good team, though. They just have the best defensive line that they wreaked havoc on Penn State. I mean, Penn State really struggled. Without those 5 turnovers, Penn State doesn't get those 30 points, and it's because of the defensive line of Illinois did to Penn State what Penn State's defensive line did to Iowa.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Has Iowa defense given up a rushing touchdown this year? Does anybody remember? I can't remember.
I don't believe so.
I can't think of one.
None of those touchdowns scored against us from Penn State were rushing touchdowns, like 4th down going behind the center.
No, he had 4 touchdown passes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. I think, Eric, everybody agrees with you. We played our toughest game, and everybody knew going in it would be our toughest game.
That was the only game on the season I had a loss, other than a possible Wisconsin loss.
Jared says, I'm confident in the Iowa defense. I'm hoping the offense will get their issues figured out. Us too. Can we attribute any of it to the loss of Lachey and our top 2 running backs at all?
No.
Or no?
No, they wouldn't have been able to do anything.
Okay.
This is what I keep getting messages about. I wish people would just watch your show and type in here.
Mm-hmm.
But like this person who I was just responding to, what happened against Penn State? It was Brian's scheme as far as not giving any help to the linemen. Period. Letting the defensive ends and outside linebackers of Penn State just running or sprinting around the outside. There's nobody the rest of the schedule until the championship game that can do what Penn State did, period. So I think the offense is going to be fine, but I really hope in big games they figure out that their OTs can't – there's going to be 0 OTs on Penn State's schedule that when that Penn State goes against that can block their outside speed. They have sprinter speed on the outside. So they're fine, but they're not going to rush them back. I mean, they're not fine. They're injured, banged up, but they're not going to hurry them back because of how good the freshmen are. They're really impressed with these freshman running backs.
I think until Iowa shows that we have some man beaters and that we can actually complete the passes, we're just going to continue to see a bunch of man press coverage. It's hard for the receivers to get out into routes, and then that leaves us with the tight end and running back, and we can't leave them into block if our receivers can't get open and can't get separation. And
right.
I mean, last week there wasn't any separate. I mean, Penn State's defense is just all around about every single position. They have 4 DBs that can lock up a lot of teams.
Yeah.
So, but Cade has to complete. I mean, we've had receivers that wide open, and Cade's been missing them.
True.
But it's a true thing though. When you're off a year, you got to get your mojo back, right? Mm-hmm. So these games, and now he's saying he's even more healthy every week. He's just getting
better every week, and then he's got a bye week, I believe, after next week. I think.
Yeah, so he'll be 100% ready to sprint.
I can't remember if it's after Wisconsin or after Purdue, but we have a bye week in there somewhere. How are the injured running backs, Eric? They're both out. The top 2 running backs are still out this week. That doesn't necessarily mean they're coming back next week. Rumor is that they both have high ankle sprains, which could take a while.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? The running back room seems capable. So
they're not going to rush the running backs back because of how good Williams and the freshmen have been.
Yeah.
They just have to learn the playbook. We saw one play where a freshman screwed up the play on a bootleg, and it got Cade killed. Almost got him killed, but he had to just chuck the ball. So the freshmen just need to learn the playbook from the running back position, which is something you should be able to do. So they should get better now that they're getting reps.
Okay, says Jared also says, what would you like to see special teams do differently? I would like to see the kickoff return, try to return ball. And I agree. Now, they've been trying to return the ball in the previous games. I still think it had more to do with the rain and how wet the conditions were. They didn't want to risk losing the ball down and deep in that territory, but I could be wrong.
I mean, he was told not to return it. I mean, that was clear. So, yeah. I mean, that was the first time I've ever seen an Iowa team do that, right? So, I've never seen them do it like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll be back to trying to gain some yardage. You know Cooper. Cooper, you watched him run in the backfield after he gets it. He runs all over until he finds his hole. He either gets tackled or he finds his hole and goes.
I think what you saw Saturday night during that bye week game was we just came in just with the most ultra conservative game plan, really in all 3 phases, right? I mean, I don't recall our defensive backs playing that far off all game long.
The whole game? Yeah.
Not returning kickoffs. Offensively, at times it really just felt like, hey, just, we weren't taking a lot of chances, trying to do a lot of things. I mean, the weather, once the weather, it started raining too, but it certainly felt like our goal was, keep it simple, stupid, and try to hang in there. And it didn't work this time. So.
Yeah. No, I agree. The more you think about what they did Saturday night, it was a lot of it. You feel like they just didn't want to lose by a lot.
Right.
Right. Everything they did was
play not to lose.
It was playing scared, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because Iowa doesn't usually look like a team that's playing scared, but that's sort of what we were scared to return kicks. We were scared that we were going to get beat deep on passes. We were scared that
it was weird. I mean, the whole game plan was weird.
Right. Up until about
if with Diaz running the defense at Penn State, they could win the East. If they continue with their offense just being very efficient, not forcing things, it looks like Drew Alar is like perfect at just slowly working his way down the field. He's a thinker. He's better than I gave him credit for. Mm-hmm. I was wrong about him because he doesn't miss. Like these short passes, they didn't even try to go deep either.
Right.
And Iowa was playing so far off that
he kind of reminded me of Fran Tarkenton a little bit. Fran took a lot of heat when he was quarterbacking the Vikings back in the 60s and 70s, and because he never threw deep passes, and they always said his high completion percentage was because he threw nothing but short passes. But they also, under Fran, I think they went to, out of the 4 Super Bowls they went to, Fran was in charge of 3 of them as the quarterback. So
I think
he also ran a 4.540.
If we would have played a little tighter on the edges, on the outside, might have given our defensive line more of a chance. I mean, we never even really got close. So the guy, he didn't hang in the pocket long. He didn't, there wasn't a lot of chances for sacks and no real chances for picks because we pretty much just said, look, if you want the 5 to 7 yard pass, we're going to let you take that as often as you want to have it.
For 97 plays.
Right.
God, that was awful. I mean, think about it. They ran 97 plays. Did they even have 500 yards of offense?
No. They didn't need to because we gave them short fields.
Well, sometimes.
Well, plus.
Well, no, 4 times we didn't. 4 times they ran 10 or more plays.
I think 5 or 6 times. Yeah. They only had 397 yards. In those, they only passed for 182. It felt like they were passing.
Here's my thought. Iowa can still win the West. They just have to get by a couple of other teams that I'm having concerns about right now. But they can still win the West. And I got, right now in my mind, Penn State's going to win the East. I just don't see Ohio. The way we've seen Penn State play from day one, I just don't see how either Michigan or Ohio State stop them.
I think they probably split with Michigan and Ohio State. It'll be an interesting thing.
They get one of them at home. I just don't remember which one.
Iowa had 4 turnovers to 0, and they only lost 31. That's like the Illinois game.
Yeah,
they lost 30-13 with 5 turnovers. So Penn State is this year's Iowa. They're just taking advantage of what you give them.
Right. Yeah. So I would say if Iowa and Penn State meet in the Big Ten championship game, I'm not saying that we'll beat Penn State, but I'm saying it's going to be a different game. We're going to give them a better game. We'll be in dry conditions inside of a building.
Yeah.
Not in a whiteout. All these kids, first time ever playing at Penn State.
Plus we'll have our share of fans there. I don't know how many we had at the other. So okay. Casey says that Penn State gets Michigan at home, but let's kind of focus on Penn State a little bit because we are doing that. But their quarterback, I don't know his first name, but his last name is Kim. He's 66.
Oh, you mean Michigan State? Okay.
Yeah, that's as I said, Michigan. What did I say?
Penn.
Oh.
I was like,
we've already been there, done that. Okay. Kim is the quarterback. He's 66 for 166 for 897 yards, 59%. He's thrown 6 touchdowns, and he has a completion rate of 7.7 yards on the average. They have a running back named Carter, who has 369 yards for 4 TDs and 5.1 yards a rush. Another running back who, actually, he's probably the main running back, Carter. The next running back closest to him is Berger with 10 for 31 yards and 1 TD and 3.1 yards per rushing, which 3.1 will still get the job done.
Yeah.
So the receivers are all they're balanced at 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 receivers, all between 113 yards and 203 yards. And 2 of them are over 20 yards per catch, or catch and run, whatever they are, and the other 3 are 12 yards, 13 yards, and 11 yards. Unusual, unlike Iowa, where our top 2 pass receivers are
tight ends.
Our tight ends. You have to go down. You have to go to the 5th place person on the list to find a tight end listed, and he's got 110 catches for 113 yards, 11.3. And I don't know if I wrote that down for our tight ends, but I believe our tight ends. Lachey and all both have 10 catches. Lachey, I don't even know why I'm reading Lachey's stats because they're done for the year.
Yeah.
But he gets 131 yards for 13.1 average. All has got 10 catches for 116 yards and 11.6 and a TD. Anderson is our leading wide receiver at 68 yards. Nico's our next one at 52, and Vines is next at 28. Everybody else is insignificant right now.
Point of clarification, there's nobody on the Iowa roster that's insignificant.
Okay.
They all matter.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I meant significant stats. Can I say that? Insignificant.
You can say the stats are insignificant, but the players.
Okay.
We have to protect their feelings on here because we never know. One of them could watch and be like, "Oh, great! They think we're insignificant now." No, incompetent at times, perhaps, but never insignificant.
He has been sacked 5 times.
Well, there you go.
Who, their quarterback?
Yeah, Kim.
Okay.
I mean, and the reason why his stats look okay is against Richmond and Central Michigan, he went off. He completed 81% of his passes.
Oh, so he didn't do so well against the other 2.
No, 38% and 46%. So against Maryland, 46, and against Washington, 38.
Okay. All right.
So, I mean, and I expect something similar to that against Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Unless all of a sudden Penn State showed the blueprint and a coordinator actually does it. Right?
Yep.
Parker's going to have to adjust himself.
Yeah. I don't think Iowa is going to be as afraid against any of our future opponents that we were against Penn State and the environment and everything else. I mean, like I said, I feel like we just went in there and said, hey, they literally got off the bus scared. I have no other explanation for why.
So Iowa's it looks like Iowa's total defense ranks 26, averaging 17 points allowed a game.
Well, considering we just lost 13-0 to still have basically a top 25 defense, that says a lot.
You know what's crazy?
Just like Iowa State, they're top 25.
Nobody, the other 3 teams didn't score more than 14 tops points against us?
Something like that.
Yeah. Took 31 points to bring our average up to 17.
There you go.
But it's only 4 games, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Key. The key is it's only 4 games, so the averages just can shoot up or down.
Yeah, fly all over the place. Yeah, Michigan State gives up 23.25 points a game. So that bodes well for us. How about a 23-17 win for Iowa? No. And
I just want,
they
I
rank
just want to get an
62.
8-point lead. That's all. Give me an 8-point lead.
Hell yeah. Get an
Yeah.
8-point lead and let's ride this shit out.
That's it.
Yep.
I'm actually hoping Kirk gets pissed off and lets Brian do his thing. That's what I'm hoping for. Because that Penn State game plan was 100% Kirk.
Yeah.
The plays probably weren't, but the conservativeness was. I mean, it was probably on Brian that he didn't help the offensive tackles at all.
Right.
But that game plan overall, the special teams, fair catch and everything, guarantee you that was all Kirk.
Yeah. Okay. Jared wants to know what's MSU playing for. They're playing for a winning season in a bowl game, and they feel like you got to understand Michigan State's not going to come in and roll over for Iowa because they look at Iowa and they look at that as a team they can beat too. Iowa's looking and say, hey, we can beat Michigan State. Michigan State also looks at Iowa and say, we can beat those guys, And so Michigan State's not going to come in and roll over, and they are going to try to play for a bowl season, and so every win they pick up because they've got 3 losses already guaranteed on their schedule, and they've already got Maryland lost, so there's 4.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan State's not going to beat Penn State, Michigan, or Ohio State,
Right.
And maybe not even Rutgers.
I don't know. And they've already lost to Maryland.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
I'm not even sure they'll beat Indiana. I mean, Indiana's playing pretty good football, all things considered. So by their standards.
Yeah, I don't even think I don't think I was looking at Michigan as a team we can beat. I think I was looking at a Michigan State team that we should destroy.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's just they come in angry because if they play Iowa football, they can just destroy Michigan State. They can't do what they did against Western Michigan and wait till halftime and say, oh, hey, we better start playing.
Yeah.
Just come in and start from just like you did against Utah State, but keep the gas on the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we don't play Minnesota this week. With them coming off a loss against Northwestern, they're either going to come out on fire against whoever they play next, a little embarrassed, or they're, I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they are who what their record says.
It appears that they are who their record says they are. But can we give a little credit to Northwestern?
Absolutely.
For not packing it in the season and saying we can still win games? Because they could have easily packed in the season and just gone through the motions, and they didn't do that.
Minnesota's okay. They're playing Louisiana, and it's not the same Louisiana team it was a couple of years ago.
Gotcha.
So they should. I mean, they're favored by 11. They should come close to that. They should realistically just because they'll pound the ball right at Louisiana. So I think Minnesota will be all right.
Right. And honestly, they had that Northwestern game well under control until they gave up 21 straight points in the fourth quarter.
That was cool to watch. I rewatched that game. That was a fun game to watch.
I actually watched it live. And I'm going, whoa, baby! I don't believe what I'm watching. It kind of helped take the sting off of our loss.
Yeah, Eric, I agree. I don't think Minnesota's very good. Their quarterback is awful. Yeah. They found their running back in Taylor, that transfer from, I think, Western Michigan, I believe. And, yeah, they found their running back, so they'll just run. But their quarterback is just bad.
Speaking of which, guys, today I read an article on who Michigan State's future coaches might be. How everybody writes who would be a good fit for Michigan State. Guess who's on that list?
Brian Ferentz?
No, PJ Fleck. I guess he's got a lot of Michigan ties, and so they're saying it would make sense for him to move over there.
Yeah, he played for Western Michigan.
I forgot. I forgot about he coached Western Michigan too.
Well, he coached and he played for him.
If I were them, I'd probably come after Phil Parker. I mean, he played at Michigan State. I think he coached there at some point.
Right. But he doesn't want to be a head coach.
But, I mean, and just say, hey,
he's saying Phil Parker's saying now that he's not saying he wouldn't, but the opportunity would have to be something he couldn't turn down. Because he's happy the way he is.
He said 100 times that he doesn't want any part of meeting with the media every week. He doesn't want any part of all the stuff a head coach goes through. He loves to coach. Like, he wants to coach. He doesn't want to be a CEO. But if they bring a $10 million bag at him after what they did with this last coach, who knows?
I mean, if I was Michigan State, I probably would go after Phil and just say, look, we understand you don't have a ton of years left in the tank, right? We're looking for a guy that can really bridge us till we get to the next guy. In the meantime, we know we're going to have a good defense with you here, and that would be how I would approach it. And I think it would be a good hire it would hurt Iowa, but I think it would be a good hire for Michigan State. That's my take.
I mean, yeah, it just depends on if he really, even if he accepts that money, he's got to be a head coach. There's so many coordinators that can't be head coaches, right?
Right. Yeah, and true.
He would probably be in hell if being the CEO of a team instead of coaching. So, I mean, I don't know how that would work for him, but I mean, if they brought $10 million a year, how could he turn that down and then retire? If he sucked, he sucked, and then retire.
Or, maybe they don't pay him a ton of money, but they say, hey, look, this is going to be your budget, your NIL budget for the portal. Go get, the best player, because I got to thinking too, again, he's not a young guy. So, I wouldn't.
He's 60, isn't he?
I thought he was a little older than that, but maybe not.
He might be.
But Phil is around 60, give or take. His age is not out there, but you have to read his. I was reading his bio in the Iowa media guide, and if you read his bio, he's definitely in his 60s.
First of all, Jared, the Big Ten, the West is being ripped, but I mean, we've earned it. There's nobody in the West right now that you look at and go, boy, they're a good football team. They're a complete team that they can play with anybody in the country, because right now there's not a team in the West that
there's not one team. Like, it's been bad for the last few years, which has been wrong. And the Big Ten West proves it, as they've been really good in the preseason and they've been really good in bowl games. Their record, they have the best record in that environment, like in the last 8 years or whatever it was.
Well, Penn State's finally getting its wish, because, they're getting rid of divisions. They've been screaming to get rid of divisions for a while because they're tired of Michigan and Ohio State standing in their way.
But this year, the West it's just terrible.
Hey, I got a question. Let's do this. We're a quarter of the way through the season, right? Right now, and let's just focus on the Big Ten West.
Okay.
Of the team of Iowa's 24 starters, including the punter and the kicker, which of those guys would be first team All Big Ten West? Eric All, maybe. Is there a better tight end in the West than Eric All? Certainly Torrey
I'm at a loss.
No.
Cooper DeJean. You're
talking just the West, right?
Just the West.
Yeah, Iowa pretty much is top at every position except quarterback, possibly between Tanner and Mordecai at Wisconsin, which I love. I value him out of high school. He's a perfect air raid quarterback. He just has to adjust to that team. But Cade, which we haven't seen Cade healthy, and we haven't seen him be able to throw the football very well, right? I mean,
you guys remember how excited in that first game when we saw him on the second play of the game throw that touchdown pass, and we're going, yes! Then things just kind of cooled off after that.
He's not – I mean, he's had wide open receivers that he's missed, right? I mean, I feel so sorry for Iowa receivers because they don't get a chance to display how good they really are.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he missed Iowa State. Cade should have thrown for 300 yards against Iowa State. Seth Anderson destroyed on a double move, wide open. He overthrows it. He underthrows Vines on a 9 route straight down the sideline. He burns Iowa State's best corner, Tampa or whatever the hell his name is, and Cade underthrew that one. So I mean, go ahead, somebody.
Yeah.
No. Go ahead. Paul.
I sort of agree, Eric. I do think that they could run the table, but history tells us that they won't, and so, I could see them 10-2 though. They're not going to win every game they have left, but let's hope that they turn it around this week.
I think they could run the table. I'm with you on that, Eric. But the only game that's questionable in my mind is Wisconsin. And they struggle. I mean, they struggle on the defensive side of the ball. But I'm with Eric on that. I think they will. I think they could.
I'm also, besides Wisconsin, I'm also concerned about Rutgers and Nebraska.
Yeah, you already said that. I'm not.
Yeah,
I know. But you guys already knew that.
About Rutgers. You got to be able to throw the ball against Iowa. Rutgers can't throw the football. Nebraska can't throw the football. So those teams don't scare me a little bit. What scares me a little bit is Nebraska's nose tackle.
Yeah.
He's extremely good. So we're going to have to game plan to help the offensive line against their defensive line. Nebraska's got one of the best nose tackles. Going off what Paul said earlier, their nose tackle probably will be first team all Big Ten West.
And if theirs isn't, Illinois might.
Or Illinois, yeah. I mean, those are the two guys. But Nebraska only really has that nose tackle where Illinois has a defensive end. And so they got two guys on the defensive line that scare me at Illinois. But you're right. I guess I wasn't thinking about Illinois' nose tackle, which is probably better than Nebraska's. But, yeah, I'm not worried about Rutgers because they can't throw the football. You're not just going to line up and pound Iowa with no threat of throwing the football. So, yeah, that's why those two teams, they have good running quarterbacks. They do. And Nebraska has shown who they have at their quarterback now. They're starting the right guy finally. Who knows what happened if they started Harbor. I can't pronounce his last name. But if they would have started him from the beginning, hell, they could be undefeated. Never know.
I heard that they played two freshman quarterbacks Saturday. Nebraska did I hear that right?
They might have. But
they played some trash team anyway, so.
Right. That's why I'm saying they might have. But the main guy was Harburg until it was like 28 to whatever.
Let's get into our picks, fellas. What are we picking this week?
Well, hang on. Let me get rid of this crap that just popped up on my screen.
They do? That would be a good test, Casey. Rutgers playing Wisconsin will be a good test for Dean to watch.
Yeah.
And see how that goes.
Okay, if I can. I haven't gotten to watch much college football this year. And the best games have always been on the same time Iowa's been on, which sucks.
I hate that.
Okay, do you want to see who?
Mike's right in the cannibalizing, but not this year. I mean, you're eating trash, so. Yeah, right, Jared.
Colorado over USC. We have that game here. Okay, first of all, let's just start with our game that we're talking about, Michigan State at Iowa. I already took Iowa 17-6 was the final score. Go ahead, Jason.
I got Iowa 31-10.
Paul.
I'm going to take the Hawks 12-9.
Paul, you and I are thinking the same thing until Iowa's offense proves it can move the ball.
I mean, they've been moving the ball all year except for Penn State. So, I mean, they were averaging over 300 yards a game before Penn State.
Okay. Yeah. Illinois at Purdue. Who do you guys like? I think this is a tough call considering it's at Purdue. Go ahead, Paul. You get to go first this time.
Purdue is coming off of who did they play? I recall seeing. Oh, it was Wisconsin. They played Wisconsin on a Thursday night, right? Or Friday night, something like that.
Got torched.
Yeah, they did not look particularly good. That game was at home. Who's Purdue playing again?
Illinois.
Oh, Illinois.
It's at home at Purdue.
The pick is even. It's even. So Vegas has them in.
I'm going to go with Brett Bielema. I trust him more than I trust Tyrone Tracy Jr. So in a game of Hawkeye ties, give me Brett Bielema and fighting
All right, Jason, go for it.
I'm going Illinois as well because Tyrone Tracy Jr. is going to get destroyed by Illinois' defensive line. I don't see Purdue blocking those guys. So
okay,
give me a long day for that air raid.
I took Purdue.
Oh, he's going lone wolf with Purdue.
Have I learned my lesson yet?
You have not learned.
Wait a minute! Didn't you pick Purdue a couple weeks ago and they screwed you?
Yes.
But it could happen.
Right.
Okay.
They got Hudson Card. He can run.
Right.
Okay. USC at Colorado. Jason, go first.
USC. I just don't.
Give me
USC.
He doesn't know what you're doing. But I don't see. I mean, it's going to be like a high-scoring game, but I don't think Colorado stops USC one time.
Right.
And I also picked USC. By the way, if you guys have ever been to a USC game live at the Coliseum, that song that Paul was just trying to whistle will stay with you the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah.
You
hear it in your dreams.
But you weren't picking up on it.
It took me a second.
Eric's got a comment for you. I agree, Eric.
I saw that. Is it too late to switch?
Don't stop believing. I'm just talking about the defense.
Okay.
Colorado doesn't have a defense, and USC has what I believe is the best quarterback in the country. So.
Okay. All right. Ole Miss at LSU.
Paul.
Wait, is my turn to go first again? I just went first.
I'll go first.
You did?
I took LSU.
Oh, LSU. I got LSU.
Okay.
Can we get a game time for this? Is it nighttime at Death Valley?
Oh.
Can somebody look that up?
I got it.
All right.
Because I mean, if it's an 8:00 game at LSU, that's a different animal than a noon kick. But
it's a 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. It's a
So
tweener.
your time be 4 o'clock. So it's 4 o'clock over there.
No,
It'd be the same time zone. Isn't LSU in the same time zone as you?
no, they're in the Central, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Ole Miss is? Mississippi, they're at Ole Miss.
I think that still might be Central time.
Oh yeah, I probably got my states flip flopped.
So,
All right, I had Adam at LSU. Okay, never mind.
So
I'm going to pick Ole Miss then because they're at Ole Miss.
Vegas has LSU favored 2.5. Paul. Just so you know.
I'm gonna go with Ole Miss because the girls at the Grove. Yeah.
I hope you guys are right because I do not like what's his nuts at LSU, the coach.
Chip Kelly or something.
Not Chip Kelly. The other one that looks just like Chip Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
From Notre Dame. He looks just like Chip Kelly.
It's the other Kelly then, whatever.
They're twins.
All right. Louisville versus North Carolina State. What do you think, Paul? It's a tough one.
The first Iowa game I ever went to.
Story time.
Was the 86 Peach Bowl against NC State. We lost that game. We lost that game. We fumbled the opening kickoff. I have hated NC State ever since, and I refuse to pick them here. So go Louisville. Go Louisville.
I'm going to roll at Louisville because I've watched everyone. Brian Kelly, that's the guy's name. Thank you, Casey.
I knew it was Kelly.
Casey's got all the knowledge tonight.
Right.
I'm going with Louisville as well because I've watched every game because of who their head coach is.
Jeff Brom, right?
Yep, Jeff Brom, and they are doing what Purdue did as far as scoring, but they're playing. They are not going against the quality of teams he had to go against at Purdue, and he's just torching them.
Guys, where's that game being played?
Doesn't matter. It's even if it's at NC State, are they some kind of snake pit that I hadn't heard about? No, they suck. Screw the Wolfpack. Screw NC State.
I'm picking NC State.
Of course you are, Dean. Of course.
Oh, I'm dumb. I picked the Pac-12, like the NC State's in the Pac-12. You freaking moron. Ooh, it's a Friday game. I won't be able to watch it until
no, I'll be at a soccer game.
But
that's what I'm hating about the stupid good football games being on Friday night. I'm missing them.
Yeah, me too. I can't stand it. But it's at NC State, and Louisville's favored by 3.5.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Utah at Oregon. I think this is at Oregon, so that's why I'm picking Oregon. If it was at Utah, I would have picked Utah. This one barely went to home advantage.
Who did you say? Whoa. Who did you say?
Utah versus Oregon.
Oh,
I think Oregon's at home on this game.
It's Oregon State, so you were throwing me off. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I got Oregon State on here. What was I thinking?
It's at Oregon State, and Oregon State's actually favored.
I'll still take Utah.
I'm going to go with Utah as well.
Me too. Guys, I thought it was Oregon, so I'm going with Utah. All right. Iowa State at the Sooners.
We're picking this?
Yes, we are.
Oh.
There's still one game you haven't picked yet that I'm waiting on. But, I mean, obviously Oklahoma. Although Iowa State fans are going nuts with their new air raid style. I don't know if you guys have heard this. They even had podcasts talking about it. I couldn't believe it. They're like, this is Iowa State's version of the air raid. This was fun.
Yeehaw. Yeah.
They're going nuts.
But you guys convinced me that the only reason why Iowa State won last week against is because of Oklahoma State being in disarray. Okay, I got 2 more games on here. Hopefully one of these is what you're talking about. If not, we can add it.
Okay.
Florida versus Kentucky.
Ooh. I think that game is actually in Kentucky this year.
It is.
And I'm going to go with I'm going to take the Wildcats at home. I just don't trust Florida, right? I mean, I don't know who they are. Yeah, they beat up on Tennessee. That was a night game in the swamp. That is not this game. I'll take Kentucky.
I got Kentucky as well. You know who Florida's quarterback is, right?
Yeah, the transfer from Wisconsin, whatever his name.
Mertz.
Grandma Mertz.
Yeah. Well, I also took Kentucky. By the way, I had pre-picked these guys.
Jared's got Florida.
Yeah, I saw that. That's why I put it up.
Eric's got Sooners blowing them out. Yeah, I agree, Eric.
By the way, the fabulous Deuce Hogan will not be playing for
Apparently, third string, fourth string.
Yeah, he can't learn their playbook either. So
no, he
can't. By the way, guys, if you go to, I think the Tubi channel, I think it's on Tubi, or maybe it's another channel like that it's a free channel. You can watch the missing season of QB1, and it features Deuce Hogan.
Ah,
yeah,
and it's really interesting. It was really interesting to watch.
That was the one that got all the Iowa fans crazy. Look at this guy, because he is skilled unbelievably, but up here, quarterback isn't all about skill. Sometimes it's actually more important to be up here.
Yeah. Well, the thing about him in that show, if you watch it, he was kind of a lone wolf. His dad was his high school coach, and sometimes he went against what his dad said, and his dad would get so mad at him after the game was over. Okay, my last one I had picked, and if this is not it, we'll add Jason's too. Cincinnati versus BYU. I took BYU.
I love Cougars.
BYU is fun, and they got that quarterback. I can't remember his name right now, but they got a transfer quarterback as well.
Yeah.
I like him. I like BYU. I'm going to go with BYU on this.
Yeah, I like Cougars more than I like co-eds. Give me BYU, man.
All right, Jason, did we hit your game?
No. What the hell's wrong with you?
Well, let's pick your game. Let's get it out there now.
The Notre Dame Duke game, the biggest game of the week.
Is it at Duke?
Doesn't matter.
Yes.
Duke is undefeated, right?
Yeah. Duke's having a hell of a season. Matter of fact, their coach, he got them to 9 wins last year, and he's like 15-4 right now with that team.
They're ranked 17th, and they're 4-0, but they do have one of the best quarterbacks in the country, at least top 5. But I got Notre Dame, but I can't wait to watch it. Notre Dame is favored by 6 at freaking Duke. You know, that Tar Heel place that's over there around the corner from Duke.
Oh, yeah. Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
Question, is Dick Vitale calling the game?
Yeah. Right. Then
It's the Dukies. It's the Dukies.
That would be fun. I'm not going to lie. That would make it fun.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I got Notre Dame.
I took Notre Dame as well, or I'm taking Notre Dame. I want to pick Duke, but, then I don't know. They got to prove it first.
I mean, it's two great quarterbacks going at it. It's going to be a great game. That's other than my Iowa game, obvious, that's my best game of the week.
I refuse to go lone wolf on Duke, so I will take Notre Dame.
Watch Duke blow them out.
Right? You know what? Then we'll all be wrong together, but I'm not lone wolfing it with the Blue Devils in football. I'm not doing it.
I mean, you should watch them. If you get a chance, check out that game because, Duke it's not your grandpa's Duke football team.
Well, I think Steve Spurrier coached Duke back.
He did.
So
he won an ACC title in 80, 89, 88.
Something like that, yeah. So
before he went to Florida. Yep.
Okay, guys. So I went lone wolf on the Purdue and North Carolina State.
Screw North Carolina State.
Jason went lone wolf on LSU. Paul didn't lone wolf on anything.
Damn right I didn't.
So again, the potential for me to bring up the rear if things don't go my way.
Do Eric's comment, Dean. Check out Eric's comment. Jared, I don't want to end Notre Dame's playoff hopes.
Eric, I am not going to melt down if Purdue loses because there's no money on this. We're just having fun.
You melted down last time. You were like, man, I was the only one that picked Purdue.
Well, I didn't think it was a meltdown. I was just
the meltdown will actually happen on the page. So everybody get on the Facebook page during the game because Dean will be on there. Just fire everyone.
I said today on Facebook, or maybe it was in our group chat, that I'm not going live for a few weeks. Okay.
During the game?
During the game. I don't like the way I was sounding the other day, and I sounded like a lunatic and I don't want to get that emotional. And I don't know if I'm on there, if I get emotional, that I won't type something I'll regret.
There you go.
You're like a drunk person. You can't.
I get to laugh at that because I'm drunk a lot.
There you go. Well, and Paul, I thought Paul, who got started a little early,
he joined us
that day. He actually handled himself pretty well.
Yeah, he joined us live, and it went well. Everybody was like, "Hey, Paul's here."
Sorry to disappoint everyone.
Well, you weren't showing up. Everybody wanted to see you. Jared, my NFL prediction, Jared, is Denver's going to beat the Bears. Okay.
Somebody's going to win that game.
I like the Jaguars to beat the Falcons, and the Jaguars always play pretty well in London. We're playing the Falcons this week. I like the Jaguars to beat the Falcons on Sunday morning.
They do play well in London, which is so funny. And
next week I will throw in a couple NFL games. I keep forgetting to do that. I don't know who the Vikings play this week or who the 49ers play this week, but that's usually the only two teams I try to keep track of.
Jared loves the NFL, I think. Every week he's asking, but we always forget the.
Jared, I'll get you some next week, okay, buddy? I'll pick out a couple of good ones. Like Denver, Chicago. What's that?
The Vikings are playing the Panthers. Both teams are 0-3, but Minnesota is favored by 4.
I'll take TJ Hawkinson in that one for the game winner.
Minnesota gave away their top running back. I can't remember who they gave it to.
Bad games. Broncos are 0-3 playing the Bears 0-3. Vikings 0-3 playing the Panthers 0-3.
Somebody's got to win.
They set this up on purpose to make sure, these teams, somebody comes out with a win.
Bengals, Titans, both teams are 1-2. Raiders, Chargers, both teams are 1. I mean, there's some awful games.
Yeah.
Holy Toledo.
Yeah, but if they're both bad, wouldn't it make for a good game?
It could.
I mean, yeah. I mean, for entertainment value, I mean, it could be fun, yeah, obviously. But
I would love to go back and watch a replay of the Broncos game because giving up 70 points, that's even worse than Iowa. That's worse than Iowa over the weekend.
Don't watch it. It was a video game. It was dumb. Denver gave up. Like, it was so stupid.
Moss?
And they kept giving the ball to their rookie, which would make sense. But he had over 200 yards rushing, and 100 and some of it was in the third and fourth quarter. But they used him the whole game. They have formations for him. Denver didn't even try to tackle. They took Hill out. I'll give them credit for that. They took Monstert out, but they're bad. They are so fast. You could tell they only draft speed. Yeah. The whole team is so fast.
All right, fellas, it's been a day for me, man. I'm burnt.
I'm pretty fired up with me, talking about coaching, getting back into coaching next year and stuff. So
I've had a great
coach. Yeah, that got me all fired up. I got some juices flowing, and they're natural juices. So.
Well, there you go. So right at the end of the season, find out who's firing their coaches next year and start applying all over the place.
Well, I just want to be the OC, so I've already been talking with people.
Oh, so, you already got the feelers out there.
Yeah, I've got the feelers out there.
Nice.
Okay.
I just got to talk. One of them, though, is I'm going to talk with Noah Fant's uncle, actually, who coaches at Northwest.
That's cool.
They haven't won a game in like 4 years or something like that. So they haven't even scored a point this year.
Bring the air raid. Bring it.
Well, I want to be like, that would be the best challenge of my life. I mean, that would be fun for me because I'm very positive. So I'd be like, all right, that would be like the best challenge for me.
Then maybe Brian will listen to you. By the way, I'm sure he never responded to you or we would have heard about it.
Yeah, you would have heard. He didn't, but I didn't expect him to. I expect to be blocked. I didn't get blocked. He commented on somebody else's, who's another coach, on something. So I know he got on and probably saw it. Yeah. But he didn't block me for whatever reason. He just didn't.
Except for the link that you sent me, which is based off of yours, I went to your page straight up and I couldn't find that anywhere. And I went to Brian's page straight up. I couldn't find it anywhere.
But you weren't logged in. That picture.
No, I was logged in. I was logged in, but when I used your link, I'm coming from a different source, so it doesn't think I'm logged in. So I used your link, and in order to retweet it, I had to log in, and I don't know my login information. I didn't want 2 logins out there.
All righty.
All right, fellas.
I think Paul is ready for nap time.
I am.
All right, guys. Great show. See you Sunday night.
See you Sunday night. Go Hawks.
I'll see you guys live Saturday during the game for everybody who joins. Don't forget.
Yep.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't when you see the video. Yeah. You didn't do that in the beginning, Dean.
I forgot. By the way, everybody who's still watching, hit the likes.
Oh, yeah.
You guys did a great job. There was 7 of you last Sunday night and only 6 of you hit the like.
All right. See you, Dean.
Good night.
Bye, Terry. Go Hawks.